T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 36 of All Monitor Talk. I am your host, Jen Black, and with me today is Nick Lillis in place of Mike Stefani. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Who is at Reptile Talks in Anaheim, California, speaking about his captive breeding of Varanus togianus, right? Yep. And who we got today? Oh, here he is, John. From Sims Container himself. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Good seeing you guys.
Good. Always awesome seeing you guys. And so what's everybody been up to? I know I've been out of the loop. Sorry, guys, but I'm back.
Nothing much. Just breeding, trying to breed, keeping it going. I know John's doing the same.
Yeah, I'm doing the same.
What do you guys have in the incubators now?
For me, lace eggs and Ackies.
Lacy and Ackies. Wow.
And Flabbies too. I got a clutch of Flabbies, but I don't know if they're all good or not. I got to look at them today. They're a week in.
I didn't know you had the Flabbies. That's all.
I didn't.
Yeah, I got nice looking Flabbies.
That's cool.
Yeah, but they're hit or miss. Like I can't always get good eggs out of those, but the lace is no problem.
Yeah.
The lace is probably like second nature to you at this point.
Lace are very simple for me. They make my life much easier.
Your lace are the best. What are you doing? Are you doing super bells or are you just doing?
I'm doing a bell to normal, and then I switched the male normal out to meet up with another female normal behind me.
Nice.
So they have this long setup behind me, but they're together, but they haven't locked up yet. They're kind of just mutually excluding each other. They switch cages like today. He's basking in her cage, she's basking in his.
That's funny.
And eventually I think they'll just meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Is that the one that you had the video on Instagram?
Probably, yeah. The banded girl, the blue bands on her. She really
the one that she kept shaking her head like, what's like she had something in her eyes or something like that.
I think she was swallowing something.
Yeah, she's probably like, oh, get off me.
I always love the normals. They're so cool. I feel like they're underrated compared to the bells.
I don't get me wrong. Like the first time I saw a bell, I was like, oh my God, and a monitor.
Yeah,
that's incredible. Like
there's a lot of them out there now, but 15 years ago when there was none, and it was like the holy grail of monitors, and the Parenti, which we'll probably never get, but the bell was, so rare. Like all these newbies that are getting into monitors, they see bells on Morph Market or on Fauna, and they think this is like commonplace. It's really still not.
It's not.
It's still a shocking thing that there's this many bells in the country now, and people working with them. They're really an amazing monitor to own and raise up. Very,
I love
very
hearing the
intelligent.
stories from you and Waterloo about how nobody had them, and then you guys brought them in. That's so cool.
Yeah, so
that's insane. It's like the one thing that stays in my mind is like, the one person who got them was John. Everybody says, no one's getting these here. Like, no way. And it was like, John's got them.
John got them in. Yep, John got them in.
Same with new Gillis, which we'll talk more about later. But I remember when you put that first one in my hands, you started it. You started the addiction. That one that you produced, you put a little baby this big in my hands.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Obsessed since. I couldn't.
I'm very, very upset at the decisions that Alex and I made regarding new Gillis. That was one that we should have held on to.
Yeah, and now you can't find them. All I find is males.
I got a question for you, Nick. Do you still have, or did you own that gigantic, like 5-foot female? She was all black, and she still lay a ton of eggs.
Nope, I never got that one.
I thought you did, Nick.
Not a big black female. I only had 2 whites, and I lost both of them recently, unfortunately.
Oh, sorry.
Do you have any more? Do you have any? Are you working with any captive bred ones that Alex hatched?
I don't know which ones were captive bred because I kind of got them all over the place. I think the one male I have was one of yours, but I don't know where the other one came from.
Do you have any more that you're working with?
I just have two males. That's it.
Two
I
males.
lost the two females, unfortunately. The last one I sent down to Dr. Stoll, and she passed away from gout. But,
Shit. Okay.
Mm.
Yep.
Got to get Chris Foley on that, right? He still has a pair. He's got a pair.
I've been annoying him. I made him a crazy offer the other day, and he's like, "Please don't make me these kind of offers because I'm going to do it." And I'm like, "All right." I'm gonna...
Oh, by the way, Chris Foley, happy birthday!
Yes.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Not the happy birthday, my dude.
Yep.
Happy birthday. But okay, so you have Lacey's, you have Flavies. What do you have, Nikki? Everything, right?
I have albinos, peach throats, and black dragons right now. But I have two things that I'm working on that I haven't said to anybody yet. But I might as well drop the bomb while we're on here. My Crocs have been locking up for the last. Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So I'm super stoked on that. And then spinulosis, I have them locking up as well.
Wow.
Nice.
So
Nice.
and they're so closely related, I feel like, because they act exactly the same. And they both started locking at the same time. So pretty exciting.
Very cool.
Oh, wow. That is exciting. Before we go any further, I want to say hi to everybody who's here with us. We have Dickie Foster, CS, Dan Nardini, hello, Serenity Dragons, Reptiles and Oddities, Amy, hey, how are you? And Josh Sweet has joined us. Hello, and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Josh.
So
I just shipped Josh some containers.
Nice.
Got lost in the mail, and then they shipped another set, and then he got both of them. So the lost ones showed up, and the ones I replaced them with.
Jesus.
This is what goes on. It's crazy out there.
Yep.
FedEx and USPS.
yeah, some
UPS, I'm sorry.
I get earlier this morning, FedEx dropped off like 4 packages for nobody in the house. Like, I'm just like, do you guys realize you're like delivering stuff that's overnight to the wrong address? It clearly says like, what is it, 17 Cardinal and whatever. And I'm just like, no, that's not us. Someone's going to be complaining. I hope nothing important, you know. But
so, John, I got to dive right into it.
Okay.
We've talked about this before, but so the term guru, where did it start and where did they come from? Like, what is a guru per se?
Okay, here's what I know about the guru. So 25 years ago, there was a pet shop in California called the Reptile Guru. Mm-hmm. And they wound up acquiring a single female water monitor that they started to call a Guru water monitor. Mm-hmm. It had this distinct look. It was black and white, basically, with big round spots on the back and big round spots on the neck. And it was really unusual. Mm-hmm. And it was the base color was a black color, not a brown color like a Bivitatus would have. So this was truly a black lizard with white spots. And there would be discussions and photos of this lizard on kinksnake.com monitor forum. Mm. And we were all at the time trying to figure out what locality this thing is. So I had put out there that the Guru could be a Philippine locality of Marmoratus, which has now changed. That locality became a new species called Banganorum. But at the time I said it could have Marmoratus origins because its belly has bands on it and it's black and white like this from Mindoro Island. And so they bred that animal to a Sumatran. I believe it was a Sumatran. So they crossed it to this big, huge male.
Yep.
And the babies hatched. Some would look like the dad, very normal, and then some were looking like the mom. So they were making little replicas of the mom with the black base color and the white spots.
Yep.
And so that's basically how it happened. That's how it started.
Gotcha.
They're absolutely beautiful. I have one here now, and I never owned one before. So this is very, very cool.
So, like, we deal with a lot of like morphs and stuff like that are recessive. Is Guru technically like dominant then? Because
and I think it's a complete dominant.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because the parent shows up in the babies on the first round, which is nice. Whereas the sulfur is a recessive gene, but it's a gene that does two things. It changes the pattern, and it changes the color of the lizard. So the sulfur is a really unique gene by itself because of what it does. But the guru is a incomplete dominant, or codom, they call it, because the babies you can hatch visual from the first round breeding. Yeah.
So now, if you took a guru to a guru, would you have like a super bells? Would you have a super form?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody's breeding guru to guru. Maybe Jim Heck.
Okay.
I really don't know.
Okay.
Or CJ, maybe CJ
I was
Gentle.
going to say
maybe
either Jim or CJ might. I know that he has some gurus available, babies.
Yeah, that's where I got one from.
I have 4 from Jim, and they're just starting to lay infertils, but my males are a little bit behind. So I'm curious to see what would happen when I pair the 2.
What a beautiful lizard.
So
now
cool.
the thing with the thing with the guru too, because like I've seen some that I thought were azanthic because they had the white, grayish, and the black, obviously the banding with like black and stuff. But then you see the ones like CJ's with that bright yellow, the bright darker bases and stuff, and I'm just like, is that normal?
The yellow might be
azanthic.
The yellow might be something that's from years of breeding guru to something else. Like I know guru was put into sulfurs, guru was put into black dragons, and then like maybe 15 years ago, I think it was Brad in Wisconsin had a guru female that had a sulfur babies. So like the genetic is all mixed up now. So the fact that these gurus that have yellow might just be because it was bred into sulfurs or bred into Sumatran from the original pairing. So that might be affecting it. But the layout looks the same, like the guru with the black base and those big round spots, especially the big round spots on the neck. It shouldn't have stripes.
I've been seeing a lot of those lately that we all know where they're coming from, but they're not pure gurus per se.
Yeah, if the guru looks like it has a Sumatran head with that faded brown stripe and the neck that looks like a cascade of little yellow flecks, that's the Sumatran showing up on the pattern. But if it has these big round spots on the neck and the big spots on the back, then I would just call that a guru, a true guru.
Well, I get a lot of people saying, like, when they show me their babies, like they'll send me a message and they're like, what do you think this is? I think it's a guru. And I'm like, it's too small to tell, because when Newt was a baby, he had those perfect spots like that. But as he grew, changed. And I'm just like, that's definitely not a guru. But people swear up and down that they can tell. I mean, I'm like, if you're breeding them, then you probably have a better idea. But
I'm gonna see if I have a picture of a guru in this book. I got this photo album.
You guys keep cutting it in and out. I'm gonna leave and come back. I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah. Like kick Nick out. He's out. Okay.
So Jen, what's up today, huh?
Not much. Just doing reptile maintenance, changing out some UV bulbs, the normal mom stuff.
Good for you.
Yeah, every 6 months.
I was up all night because I paired up these lace yesterday, and they kind of like never met each other before, so I was checking on them every once in a while. And I got a camera on them too, but some angles I can't catch what they're doing, so it looked like the girl was hiding and the male was sleeping with his head on the entrance of the hole where she went into, and like waiting for her to come out. But they came out, and they switched cages, like I said earlier. And now she's sleeping in this big cage behind me, and he's in her cage still, like laid out, like passed out. So I don't think they did anything. There's no marks on them. They didn't fight or anything. I didn't expect them to, but there was no mating or anything. I would have probably seen that. But
what's it like? That scares me, because like there was like one time where Reese saw Newt, and he just ran towards him and whatever, and I'm like,
you have two
people
boys?
say this happens with breeding and stuff like that. Like, how do you?
You have two males?
I have two.
Hey, Newt, what's going on, Tim? You're looking good today.
Hey, I'm glad you made it.
What's going on?
How's
Mickey
California?
Stefani! Oh my God! Look at you! I love it.
All the chest hair. Look at all that.
Oh,
Look at
that's
that.
great. You look like you
Perfect.
just
You know what?
You
Yeah.
got your
Okay. I think
gabagool.
My gabagool's on.
you're tricking everybody. Everybody, yeah. You know,
This
everybody.
was Mike and I's plan to surprise you. We didn't want you to miss it too much.
Oh, I love it.
I love it.
I love it. It's so funny. That's great. Look, you
John,
got the
what you got? What do you got behind you there, John?
I can't wait. There's one thing you're missing.
Yeah.
Mike would have definitely picked John about pizza.
Yeah, he would have.
Oh, yeah.
He would have been like,
we definitely argue about pizza, but I like Chicago style. But you can't ride a bike and eat Chicago style. You can only fold a New York slice in half and ride a bike.
Nothing like New York pizza.
Yeah,
New York pizza is built to be on the go and eat at the same time. I think I can fold the slice in half and stick it in my face. You can't do that with Chicago slice.
I'll tell you what, I don't know how Uncle Mike does it. This is driving me nuts after 2 minutes.
I love it.
I'm looking at you like he's got the little skull thing there too. Like, oh my God.
He's certainly the tallest Stefani I've ever met.
I'm the Irish Stefani.
Oh my God. You should definitely go to Tinley like that.
Yeah, right? Go to Monitor Fest next week.
Go to Monitor Fest. That's so funny. Don't mind me, it's hot as hell in this reptile room.
You didn't know that they sold Mike Stefani costumes on Amazon.
I had no idea.
I even got the cup.
Holy shit, that's great.
That is hilarious. I love it.
I love it. I love it.
You
got the vest. You need a pack of smokes.
Picture, John?
Yeah, I need to start lighting one up.
Yeah.
Do you need? Did you find that picture of the guru, John?
No, I didn't. It's in another album, and I don't want to go dig it up.
You know, like screw Encyclopedia Britannica. We have like freaking Encyclopedia of John A. Encyclopedia of monitors.
Water, maybe just water monitors. I'm not.
Monitors.
There's only so much room in my head for monitors, so it's mostly filled with water monitor locality stuff, and everything else is just like whatever.
So, talking about localities, John, where do you get most of your information from? Is it just from studying, like you said before? Is it like past stuff, or do you have any books or any websites you go to?
As far as websites, you know, back in the day before like AI, I would just do Google searches. I would go on birding websites.
Really?
People who are birding in Indonesia on like those outer islands, a lot of times they run across these monitors in the trees because they're looking up.
Yeah.
And they take pictures of mangrove monitors, tree monitors. So a lot of these bird sites, I would find photos of monitors on. But when you do a Google search for water monitors based on locality, it's hit or miss. You're going to find a lot of water monitors from Thailand because the parks are full of them and they're accustomed to people, so they're easy to photograph. But as you get like into like real deep into Indonesia, like Nusa Tenggara, and you're like further east towards like Komodo, Sumbawa, Lombok Islands, those islands, water monitors aren't exactly photographed often. So finding locality specific water monitors from those areas is very difficult. In fact, there's still a bunch of islands I don't even know what they look like. I know what the end island looks like. On Wetar, I know what those water monitors look like, but there's a lot of little islands in between that and Wetar and Flores. I have no idea what they look like. They probably look just like the animals from Flores and Wetar because it's a broken chain of islands, so they probably all looking the same. But I don't know, man. You know, when I look at like iNaturalist, I find a lot of beautiful photos of wild monitors now, so I'm enjoying that every day. There seems to be something new. I really enjoy that site. But if you look at the Sumbawa water monitors on there, there's like 6 or 7 photos of them in the wild. They're all relatively dark animals. There's one that's really pretty. So I don't know if it's just a thing where most of the island of Sumbawa, the lizards are dark, like really drab, not patterned very brightly. But it just seems to be a thing. Like there's light forms and dark forms everywhere with these water monitors, including on islands. Like there's dark colored coming eyes on Mindanao, but you won't see the black ones too often because people are so enamored with the yellow color and the big bold patterns that they don't photograph the black ones.
See, I've noticed even when I bred the coming eye that I can't even talk with this now. But I think
All of a sudden, he
Real
looks like
quick.
a 1990s alternative rock
Yeah,
singer.
like rock star. But so even when my coming eye produced, like they were both whiteout animals, but they produced like all black coming eye. Do you think that's like something that just lingers in their genetics? Because I had all yellow ones in one clutch and all black ones in the same clutch. So
I did the same. I hatched some that were as white as the original father that I had, and others that didn't have any white at all. Look like normal coming eye.
Yep.
So I don't know. Like, I can't predict it. Like I bred for years. I was breeding these two really clean. We call them super bells, but they were clean bells. They had no speckling on them. I was getting babies that were beautiful, black and pink and clean, and then some that were tan and speckled. So it comes and goes. Like I can't predict what it's gonna do. And two clean animals don't always give you a clean pattern. They're still a beautiful bell, but I think it's just the variance that's in the genetics of these animals. They're not just meant to be, beautiful. All the babies are beautiful, like one parent or. So.
With the coming eye, I produced all the whiteouts. Actually, it was from the first one I got from you, and then I got one back because I was like bugging the guy. I'm like, man, I want to buy that back, please. And it was black from the head all the way down the body. There was like no yellow.
Isn't that crazy?
It's so crazy. It was almost like melanistic, but unfortunately, the guy didn't know how to ship, and it didn't make it.
Guy Montecalvo has a male that I hatched in 2017 or 16. It's a whiteout coming eye. It's the whitest whiteout I've ever seen.
I've seen it.
It's a beautiful lizard. Beautiful.
Yep.
I could only imagine. Wow.
It's nice. It's very nice. Nice to look at.
Someone's posting one. I forgot who it was. I can't think of it, but I didn't even realize it was a Kumingai. It was so dark. It looked like one of the darker forms of the bivitatis, where you don't like. If you really stare at it close enough, you could see the patterns on the body, but the dorsal area is completely dark.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then it wasn't until like it lifted its face and kind of like turned this way, and I'm like, wait a minute, I think that's like a Kumingai. And then I read it, and it is. But for me, it was like there's like almost no beige, almost no yellow to that animal at all. Not even like tan. It was like mostly dark brown and black.
There are some crosses out there too. There's coming eye Samar crosses, which is virtually the same lizard, but they're just separated recently into different species. But they are very, very, very closely related. Slight pattern differences, and then maybe the Samar has a darker head. But there's also coming eye cross to bivitatis and black dragons and other stuff that the babies resulting are mixed, and they're just not as to me. I'm biased. I'm going to say they're not as pretty as the pure form coming eye or the pure form bivitatis.
Yep.
Sometimes these
I don't
crosses
think you
don't
even make them any prettier. It's just like top tier. I don't know what you'd even pair it to make it any prettier. Because everything that these hybrids, they all come out muted. Like I've seen them overseas and even here too, and they just don't look right.
Then it's like at the same time, it's like as they if these people are buying these like mixed Kumingai or whatever, and then they have babies, and then they have babies again. It's like I don't think there's going to be a consistency in the pattern that you originally looked at and be like, that's what I want to breed, because there's just so much going on in that animal, genetically speaking, that you're going to get one clutch with this, you're going to get another clutch with that,
I mean, I ran into it recently with that mangrove that I got. It was a coli that was crossed. What did Kai cross it to? I think it was a mangrove, and it stumped me. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a Juxtinkus, and then he called me and told me what it was. But it looked like something natural. It's all pink here, and then its whole back is green, like lime green.
Yeah, you asked me what it was. I was like, I have no idea.
Yeah,
Nobody did. It was too big.
John says that is like.
Yeah. It was too big looking to be coli. It's not as thick like a mangrove, but it was beautiful like a coli.
Yeah, it was like it's like 5 feet. It's crazy, like 4.5, 5 foot. Yeah,
big lizard.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, do you think too, like when they constantly cross this genetics and things like that it's gonna affect the sizing of the animal?
Because with that, John, you'd know better than me. With crossing a mangrove to a coli, where does 4.5, 5 feet come from? I mean, neither one is really that big.
Probably depends on the locality of the mangrove that you bred it to. The coli
Yeah.
don't get that big.
No.
Maybe 3 feet.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe
what
a
I
little bit more.
for the coli. I thought maybe 3.5, if anything.
But those Solomon Island lizards get big.
Yeah. And that's what it was. So I didn't know they got that big. So Solomons
Except-
get like to that 4 or 5 foot size.
There is that little mangrove species on the Solomons, though. It's not described, but people call it dwyeri.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
like a greenish one. It's a greenish yellow. It's got a
Yep.
pink tongue, and it's only like 30 inches.
Wow.
I've seen those in person a few times. They're really super rare. Really beautiful. It's like a greenish yellow lizard with a pink tongue and a very light colored throat. It's really pretty.
Wow.
Doesn't look like it's. I'm like, why is this lizard on the Solomon Islands? How is it like?
Yeah.
How did it wind up there? But it's.
There's so many of the mangroves or stuff like that I want to dive into in the future. Like there's so many localities that are crazy looking. Like even what are they? Renal Islands? Is that what they
Yeah.
call it? Yeah, they're really
Those are
pretty.
very large growing too.
Yeah. Now that's different than just Indicus, right? Those are two different
It's a different
things.
species, but
Okay.
it's related. It's in the same complex. It's just that has a rounder tail. Doesn't have like that double keeled crest down the tail.
So not for
More
swimming.
round. Yeah, it's just a rounder tail on this Juxtindicus.
That's where I was getting
Renal Island.
confused because if you Google Juxtindicus, it was coming up Renal Islands, and I'm like, that doesn't look the same though. They don't look
Yeah.
the same.
Like
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think that information is updated
Yeah.
when it comes to them. I think there's just so much more to be updating that stuff with nowadays.
I mean, look, when they described the animal, I think it was like 20 years ago now. I think it was Boma who wrote the description and elevated it to a species. The photos that he has of Juxtindicus don't exactly match what you'll find on like iNaturalist. So maybe it's a different locality of large growing round tail mangrove monitor that's not just rental. It might be somewhere else.
No, they're awesome. I don't know. I always loved. My passion started with the water monitors, but once I got into Indicus, it was kind of like they're so cool, and so each one is so different. Like those spinnies, I mean, they blow my mind every day. They do so
They're so
weird, so many different weird things. Yeah.
You know they're not related to anything in that area, right?
Really? They're not related to anything?
They're not related to anything like mangrove monitors or water monitors or anything on
They're their
Australia.
own.
They're their own species,
I didn't know
but
that.
they have possibly a genetic affinity to the Philippine fruit-eating monitors. And if you put them
What?
side by
They look-
side,
they
you
look
might be
just
They
able to
look
see
like them. Now that you bring
they
it
have that
up.
wrinkly skin with the baggy throat, with those big eyes and that nostril position, and the head shape is similar, but they got that croc monitor pattern and spiky skin. It's just
That's
They
It's
blow
an
my mind
insane
because
species.
you catch them at the right angle, like when they're turning, and you see that neck pattern. It looks just like olivaceous to a
Yeah.
T.
yep.
Hmm.
And the young
It's
ones
so
have that orange head. They're so nice.
Yeah.
I gotta get. The problem is like when I got those in, like 15 years ago, I bought 4 of them and I had them imported. They came in so dirty and they were adults already and they didn't last very long. I had them for like a year at the most. So
Yeah.
then I see babies floating around. They came in over the years. Hatchlings are stunning lizards, but I just never had the space or the time to do another spinulosus project. That is a really, really interesting and ancient species of monitor. It's a
But they
very
look
old
that way
species.
too. Like they
Yeah.
look like they're like the missing link,
Prehistoric.
like the missing link.
Yeah, they're really old. It's like
in
a very old
generation wise and
species.
everything, because they do look very, very old school.
There's
Yeah,
so
this-
many behaviors with them that I've picked up that are so different than anything else I've ever seen. Like
There's
They're
a
very
couple for
social.
sale. I saw a couple for sale in New Jersey, but I'm not going to
Really?
tell Nick where because I want to buy them.
I can't take anymore. I have
Okay.
4 right now, and I have
They're
them
right-
all separated.
They're right near your hub too.
Really?
Not
Oh,
far from your
boy.
hub.
That's funny. That's funny.
Let's start. I'm gonna
You gotta
I want
start.
you
get
to
'em.
buy them. I don't want to buy them.
Oh, John, we have Scott Rose, and it says, "Little John, have you put the water monitor together again yet?"
No, but I'm working on it. They're side by side, but I haven't opened the door yet because I was having a discussion with Nick yesterday about the sex of the female is up in the air at this point.
Yeah.
So, looking at the female that I raised up, it's possible she's a male. Never laid eggs though. But has a short
This
tail
is-
and a female shaped
Oh.
head.
This is Scott's response.
I know. But the problem is, the last time I tried to introduce him, it cost me $3,000 to patch
Yeah.
it back
Oh
together.
yeah, no. Mm-mm.
So chicken or not.
One was looking
at the other one
like
doesn't die.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
get rid of Scott. Let's get rid of that. Thanks, Scott.
want
I
you out,
hope I see
Scott.
you at the next
I'm
10
sorry.
if I go. If I'm not in China.
Mhm.
Scott breeds black dragons, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Black dragons are amazing.
They
Yeah.
are. It's one morph that'll never go out of style.
Nope.
It's a sexy fucking
It
lizard.
is.
Yeah.
It
They
is.
seem
I
to
have
always sell and they hold their value.
I have my black dragon Ree, and even now sometimes I look at him and I'm like, you are one stunning little fucker.
That's
Yeah.
one lizard that anyone getting into monitors can buy 2 black dragons and breed them and do pretty well for themselves, even with a lot of other black dragon breeders out there, because
Yeah.
it's a sexy lizard and they lay a lot of eggs,
Yeah.
and everybody wants them.
Especially
I
like
have
mine,
the dial
mine is
back.
on the smaller side. Mine is technically the Khomeini.
Mhm.
So he is on the smaller side, and then you have my nephew Moggs from Legend Lizards, Katie and Greg, who's like, dude,
They're huge.
he's like what, closing in at 9 feet now, and he's a dad for everybody who knows. Yes, he's had plenty of babies, and I think they have another clutch in the oven.
There's a guy in Florida that I'm friends with that has a male that's a different locality black dragon. It's from some island off of the coast of Sumatra, and I think it's available too, but it's not very friendly.
Well,
If anybody's looking for a black dragon, I'll help them get a sale.
so, John, I mean, I could ask you a million questions, but on that topic of Khomeini, is that like a big myth of the past?
So,
Like
well, it
Khomeini.
was described as Khomeini, but
Yeah.
it was designated as a junior synonym of Macromaculatus. It's just genetically, there's no difference between it and the local population water monitors that are normal colored. It's just a mutation.
Mutation.
It's just a melanistic lizard, and they're
I
not
always-
just found
I
in
always
southern
ask about
Thailand.
that.
I
They're
think
all- they're-
people-
I
like
always
these-
heard about, the macromolatus, and I'm just like, it's a macromolatus, and they're like, no, it's a Khomeini. I'm like,
It's not
It's a
Khomeini anymore.
macromolatus,
It's
like-
macro.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But do we have any real melanistic macros here, or are they all bibs?
They're all macro. All the
Okay.
black dragons are macro. None of them are Vivitatus. Vivitatus is just
Okay.
the islands of Java and all the islands heading east towards Wetar.
Gotcha.
and
Only
that I
those
learned from you,
lizards.
John.
Yeah.
That I learned from you, and like I stick to that argument to like everybody's
Yeah.
like, no, it's Khomeini. I'm like, listen,
Yeah.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not
No, it's
Khomeini
not.
anymore.
They used Khomeini to try to sell these dwarf 4-foot black dragons, which was never.
Yeah. Eventually they get big and they grow up. So
Yeah.
I
even though
think
they're
it's
small now,
slower. To
they
be
grow.
honest with you, I think it's just a slower growth rate because
Bring it to my house. I'll get that thing up to size. I'm telling you.
he's 5 feet now, but
Everybody's-
let me tell you something. Last year,
Bring it over. I'll get it up to 7 feet
Yeah.
for you in 6 months.
I should, right? But like here, I
Big
noticed though, like last year into, I would say like December into February, his growth spurt, like he legitly has an ESA harness,
Okay.
does not
Outgrew it.
fit.
Don't fit
Does
it.
not fit, and I'm just like, wait, is this belong to Newt? Because Newt is smaller.
Yeah.
And no, it's not. Like I can't close it around it, like right under where like the rib cage is, because it goes right underneath there around his. He's beefy, so
Yeah.
it doesn't. The hole doesn't fit over his arms, and I'm just like, when did this happen?
I've
And I'm
noticed that with
like
a lot of
with my
monitors.
friend, and I'm just like, we wanted to take them out and for a walk around
Yeah.
the yard that I have here, and I couldn't do it without a harness because I don't. There's a cat around. The neighbors have dogs, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
it doesn't fit. So I don't know. I see it as him growing slower than say Newt. Newt just exploded, and he's already like 4 feet.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
they hit these start and stop buttons. They grow like
Yeah.
crazy, and then they slow down, then they grow like crazy.
Yeah.
Like I had
And
a
it's nice
female
and clean.
sulfur that I raised, and in the first 5 years she was 4 feet, and then when I started to change the way I kept monitors and I kept them hotter and I fed more and I offered more of what I'm doing now, like an enclosed cage with less ventilation and more humidity, heat, and food, the lizard exploded and she
Yeah.
eventually hit 6 feet plus,
Yeah.
and that was a
Holy
female
crap.
sulfur. So they'll stay a certain size until like things change, and then they grow with the change.
So what you're saying is when I get to Florida, I'll be able to ride my dragon to Tinley.
Yes,
Yep.
you could
Got it.
stand on it and surf him to Tinley, which would be an amazing photo.
That
Yeah.
would, that would. Actually, I have to find it. Somebody actually did draw a picture of like the cartoon I have for Soar magazine.
Hmm.
I have holding a very tiny newt in a very tiny Ree, and they actually drew like Game of Thrones style, well, House of
Oh,
Dragon
that's
style,
cool.
like
Yeah.
the saddle on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I gotta
Awesome.
find it and post it because it was really cute. And they were like, "Yeah, because that picture is no longer valid. They're not small anymore." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I gotta update it. I gotta do a lot of updates, I guess."
They
But
all grow up.
they all grow up.
Unfortunately.
That's true.
They all grow up, and these
Too
laces get
fast.
big too.
Yeah.
There's a lace back there. I can't grab him or anything, but he's like 6 foot
How
plus.
big are your lacies?
The females are not big at all. They're maybe 4 feet.
Mhm.
You know,
And that's standard with them. Like,
pretty much. Yeah, the females
Wow.
are pretty like 4 to 4.5 feet, full grown, and then the males are 6 plus.
Yeah.
Much bigger
I've
hands,
seen some
bigger
pretty
arms,
big.
bigger everything.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty big, hefty males, which I thought like was kind of odd. I'm just like, are you overfeeding this animal? But no, lateral line or whatever. It just was.
Yeah. No, he's got the lateral line. He probably lose a couple of pounds. I bought him as an adult. I bought him this big, and he was
Wow.
heavier last year. He's slimmed down a bit. I'm just been feeding, reduced calorie. He's on a what do you call a fast.
Yeah.
Couple of small quails. Keep him a little hungry.
Keep them hungry, but
Keep 'em
not.
hungry. Don't feed him too much.
Yeah, I
I've
tried.
never-
I've
That
never owned a
crazy. They
female.
think it was
I've only had three. I had 3 pairs, and they were all turned out to be males.
No way, really?
Yeah, I had
Oh,
6
that
males.
sucks. 6 males.
6.
So I took a
That
break from lace
sucks.
for a while.
Take a break. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow. We also have indescribable Octoman. Is anyone working with ornate monitors or anything to say about Russell Island mangroves? Personal interest is what he wrote.
Uh-huh.
Well, I could tell you, Brian Wooderloo is about to work with some more Nates because he has a female, and I'm taking him mine at Monitor Fest. So he's gonna.
I remember in the early '90s, we would get these ornate monitors imported in, and they would show up at the pet shop that I worked at, which was called Exotics Unlimited.
That's
It
funny.
was on Staten Island in the basement of a bird store called Just Birds,
Wow.
and they had gotten baby Burundi ornate Niles in, and it had to be 91, 92, and they were orange and blue and black. They were
Oh my
Crazy.
God.
They're crazy.
with big spots down the back, blue and orange on the side of the neck.
John, you're cutting up. Can you hear us?
But it,
Yeah, it's choppy.
It's choppy. Say something, John. You might want to get out and come back in. All right. Yeah. Wow. Like
Yeah.
I think about like the first monitor I ever had was a Nile,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I don't remember. I don't have any pictures of what, if it was an ornate or whatever. But
Yeah.
nowadays, it's like when I'm like learning all this stuff about them, I'm just like, I remember the one thing I do remember one time where he was like sleeping on my futon, and he had this big bubble like the shed.
Yep.
And I just kept going like this, and then I finally peeled it off, and there was an argent turquoise underneath.
Yep. Probably
And
was
that
more
stood
Nate.
in my head because I was like, for years, because he was a rescue, she was a rescue, and I never realized what a bright colored animal this, and in hindsight, I'm thinking how many of these are like that out there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whatever. And then like Christy, who's with us, Christy Maney has a gorgeous Bumanji's really gorgeous.
That was from Asher, right? I think.
Yeah. That was a really stunning looking Nile, and obviously the ones that Waterloo has.
Yeah.
Stunning as well. Like,
yeah, his female is crazy, and the male that I'm giving him is pretty crazy too. So I hope he breeds them. I'm sure he will. It's Waterloo.
Part of me wants a Nile, but Florida they're not allowed. So it's one of those things. I'll stick to my. I mean,
now you'd have to ask John, but like Ornatus is its own species, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if that falls. Does it still fall under? Yeah.
I think it does. I don't think they'll. I would never want to risk a situation where they'll mistaken it.
Especially that state.
And take it. That would be that's like in the back of my head too. It's like here we have John's joining us.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, it sounds better.
Where's your costume? I thought you were putting yours on.
What?
I thought you were dressing up like Mike. You cutting up again, hon. John, say something.
I'm here.
You're a little scratchy. Your microphone, I think, has a cold.
I don't know.
Better, but it's definitely a little scratchy still.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we should do sign language for John.
Yeah.
I want to talk about ornate monitors. That's one I really like.
Yeah. Well, I was just telling him when you signed off and signed back on that the rescue, my first monitor was a Nile. I don't know what kind, but he was always dark in color until he started shedding. And I don't have any pictures. I don't have anything like that because it's so long ago. This is like right after A&D. This is like 1992, 1995. And when he was shedding and I started picking at the shed, it was like orange and like aquamarine. And it blew my mind that this animal that I had was changing into these colors because they had other ones in the rescue place, but I couldn't take any more. Mm-hmm. And the other ones, they were all dark. Yep. They were all dark. I just remember.
Back. I want to make sure that there's nothing going on upstairs that's interfering with this call.
Okay.
Yep. But no, I always loved Niles. It's just I had to pick and choose, and me and Waterloo were talking, and he was like, "I know how much he loves them. Those and Lace are his passion." So
those are his babies. Yeah.
It's better with you. As much as I raised it from a baby, but I hope he gets to producing. I'll just start over again. I'll grab some babies from him.
Yeah, that was gonna say you can always get a baby or two from him. So
yeah.
At least those animals are gonna be in freaking Waterloo heaven over there. Because what I hear, it's his enclosures are just.
Incredible. I don't want to say about it, but I've been talking to Uncle Mike about all his new enclosures that he's building, and it's like a zoo. They are crazy.
You know what? But the one thing, if I do go to Waterloo's house, between us. I'm stealing his Balrog sculpture.
Yeah, get it.
I'm taking that. That's like my favorite. That and the Witch King. Like I noticed, like some posts that he makes, I'm just like, oh,
yeah,
like get my heat on,
Yep.
But yeah, so aside from Ornets, like I'm hearing these. People message me and they ask me what other types of Niles are out there that are not Ornets, and I'm just like, you know what? To be completely honest with you, I only know the Ornet. Like there could be like plenty other different names, but again, that doesn't necessarily mean that what Joe Schmo's calling them is what they truly are.
Yeah,
we're going by. Some people say. Coli, some people say, quince, like there's so many different names to these guys. So how many types of Nile monitors are out there that are legit locale?
Got the answer.
Like, what is it?
I'm pretty sure there's 4. You got the Nile, the Niloticus, Ornatus, Stellatus, and another one. But
why don't we see the other 2?
They probably come in, but they look just like the normal Nile.
Gotcha.
No one's able to distinguish them. The only one that's distinguished from the rest is Ornatus with the pink tongue and the five bands down the back.
Yeah.
Everything else is kind of like really very little differentiated between the other species. They all do the same thing. They're all, they're all aquatic, semi-aquatic, amazing hunters, usually with a bad attitude.
You're still a
Yeah.
little choppy. Yeah, they're spicy. They've always been spicy, but you know what?
Yes.
To be honest, that's what I like about them too. I mean,
Me too.
once they do get to trust you, they're great. They're fantastic. But it's just gonna take a little bit more work than it would an Asian water monitor for sure.
Yeah.
Just like Kathy's. I mean, look at Kathy's ornates. They're like puppies.
Yes.
Mine are not.
And again, you know what? No. Kathy's in a different level altogether. Yeah. Okay.
Totally different.
Give her 5 Komodo dragons, and I bet you they'll be making her coffee, doing her taxes, and taking her to and from work without any issue.
Yeah.
Kathy's her own breed when it comes to that. Like, she's just amazing.
She has like the most aggressive monitors that are tamed, like tricolors, everything. And it just blows my mind, the work that she does. She is the reptile whisperer. Just like
she is, hands down. And John?
We're losing him.
Are you frozen?
John, you look like a selfie right now.
I was gonna say, is he showing off here? Like, I'm John?
Sideways.
Can you try? Oh my God. There we go. All right, we have Indescribable Octoman said Balrog is a good name for a monitor. I'm gonna have to consider that. You know why? Because like I'm a Khaleesi. I'm supposed to have 3 dragons.
Yep. So what's the third, Jen? What do you get next?
It's kind of hard. It's kind of very difficult for the simple fact that Asian water monitors I love. And like I said before, John, you were in frozen land or whatever, but I would love a Nile again because that was my very first monitor. But in Florida, they're not allowed. So that probably is going to be out the door. But I don't know. I'm kind of stuck with another Asian water monitor. As to what kind, I don't know, but I always had a soft spot for Lacey's and Croc monitors.
Yep.
So that might be number 3. But then if I get a Croc monitor, it would have to be Vagar.
Oh, that would be a crazy name for a Croc monitor. That's awesome.
I don't know. We'll see. Because 2 are a handful. Let me tell you, I don't know how the hell you guys do it. Breeding, having 6 million and 1 monitors. Like I have 2, and I'm just like.
I feel like that most of the time. That's usually me too.
It's like today, like because I had like the job pretty much overnight. When I came in, it's like both of them. Not one was napping. This one didn't want to bask. This one didn't want to soak. And I'm just like, guys, please, just like 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
2-year-olds going about knocking shit over.
Every time I'm there, that's how it goes too. I open a door, they run out. I got to pick them up, put them back, or wrestle them back. If I'm not there, then it's Nicole doing it, and she's 7 months pregnant, so that doesn't really go too well.
No.
So it's a lot. They are a lot, especially I think I have close to, say, around 40 now. So
I was just gonna ask. I was gonna ask both of you, like, how many monitors you're working with right now, adults, not babies or soon to be babies.
Mine's right around there, right around 40. It's about 4 aisles of monitors. That's what we have right now.
John, how many do you have?
I have.
You sound like you've been smoking way too many cigars. What was the number? Sorry, I didn't.
A little bit of everything. I got Ackies. I don't know. The 4 pairs of Ackies plus a bunch of holdbacks. I have a single male Rudy guy.
Now he sounds like Tattoo from Fantasy Island. I could barely make out what you're saying, John.
Yeah, it's hard.
I don't know what it is because it's not Wi-Fi. I don't know what it is.
All right, the Indescribable man had said, I've seen a real 7-foot Nile back in the day in a local Rhode Island reptile store. Helped wrangled it. I wonder if that was a different species than the typical Nile or just a giant.
That might have been Ornatus, because the biggest Nile Niles could get that big too, from my understanding. But the biggest one that I've had was an Ornatus, and it was like 7 foot. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. The one I had back in the day, he was about 5.5.
Big Nile at the old show.
I can't hear. I think I know what you said, John, but I can't hear you.
Like, I don't understand what you're saying. You wanna try to kick back out and come back in? I mean, it's 12:51, but we'll do it for you, John.
Get back in.
All right, let's hope that works, because I couldn't
It was
like,
totally
at first
fine.
I
That's
could
so
make out
weird.
certain things, and then it just started dwindling down. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait.
I think what he was talking about was when I first met John, I was probably like 17 or 18, and I was walking around the show with a big Nile on my shoulders, and it was super tame. And he took a picture of me for his website and all that stuff. But that was the first time I met John. Like what is that? 13 years ago, something like that.
I actually knew him obviously through the, to the community and stuff. But the first time I met John is the only one I met in person out of
Really?
everybody. Yeah, he was at the White Plains, I think 2 years ago at the White Plains Expo. And I went and I was just like, buddy, what's up? And he's like, you. And I'm like, you. Yeah. Yeah.
That was a great show. That was my first reptile show. Was White Plains.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. My dad took me there.
He actually, you know what's so funny? He actually said, he was just like, Catherine's here, Nikki's here. And I'm just like, oh my God, are they? And then it's like at one point, oh, here he is.
Outside and it's still cracking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're a little clearer than you were. Like, we were literally losing you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before.
Oh, it's clear for a second.
Stay right there. Don't move.
I don't know why I'm sideways again, though. I'm holding it horizontally.
No, you sound good now.
It's probably your phone. But so I was telling him how I first met you 2 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. And then like I literally was on my way to meet you, Nikki, because I'm just like, I know who Nikki is. I know I'll be able to tell who he is because he's probably the tallest person here. And then next thing you know, when I got pulled aside from somebody and I'm like having this conversation about tarantulas, not even reptiles, but it just left me and what have you not. But yeah, soon.
Next time.
I'm thinking next time we're just gonna go ape shit. We're gonna eat, we're gonna drink, we're gonna be like, yeah, man, family's together.
I think you need to dedicate a show just to Niles and Ornates.
Hey,
makes sense. I mean, it's one of the most popular imported animals.
Yeah,
it is, and
not a lot of people know anything about them.
I still see, like, I was actually told in one of the pet stores that is local, pretty much not to come in again. Because again, like, you see them, they're Niles. What type of Niles? I don't know, but they're in such crappy condition. Yeah. And I'm just like, you have them in a 10-gallon tank and they're all piled up on each other on this little shitty rock with a little shitty lamp on one side. Like, can you do something about this? And literally the guy told me, well, I'll do something about it. Why don't you just buy all of them so I don't have to worry about them anymore? And I'm just like,
that is such a dirt merchant thing to say to a customer or to someone who cares about animals. And you're selling animals at a show and you can't set them up like in a nice environment.
No. And you know what?
So you buy them so he can go get 10 more.
And like Mike says, he literally is, okay, yeah, you'll buy it for $40 and things like that. And that's what the guy told me. He was like, you're really bitching and moaning and complaining about a $40 animal?
Yes.
And I'm just like, I'm not bitching and moaning and complaining about the animal. I'm bitching and moaning and complaining about you.
Yep.
There's a difference. But yeah, maybe we should do that. We'll talk to Mike and maybe have a roundtable discussion. Yep. We'll get Waterloo in. See if Foxy, because I know Foxy has some gorgeous Niles, and have a Nile.
Who's that other guy that just bred him? Chris Parker, I believe. Just bred.
Niles. Yes. He's always in the group. He's always posting some really beautiful babies too.
Yep.
His adults are really nice looking too.
Yeah, really tame. Really
Yeah,
cool.
so yeah, we could have like a round table and just shoot the shit about Niles.
I just want to mention something. I want to prove. I'm proving to you right now that the world is not flat. Okay, 'cause I'm here on the edge.
On the edge
This
of the
is it.
world?
You're
I'm
like
I'm
Spider-Man.
I'm
The edge, the edge of the world. Oh my God.
the edge of the world right now. I don't know. I'm
So,
holding the phone horizontally, but I'm sideways. So.
John, I got a question for you.
Okay.
In monitors, what do you think is the next advancement? Like, where do you think everything is going? Do you think we're heading more towards morphs? Where do you think we're going towards size? What do you think the next move is for like us breeders?
Probably smaller size, and morphs.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm even involved in that with this albino Sumbawa project. I got a
yeah.
gravid female. She's barely 3 feet, so
Yeah.
it's a much smaller water monitor than I'm accustomed to.
Mhm.
The male's 4 years old or 3.5 now. He's 4 feet.
Oh
It's very
wow.
manageable, very
I love
manageable,
this
and
ball.
really pretty.
Yeah.
And where do you guys stand on leucistic Asian
I,
water
I'd
monitors?
love to
They're
see them. I
they're
don't think we
here.
have any here. Are they?
Yeah, they're
There,
here. There's
Blake, doesn't Blake from Blake Exotics have one?
I don't know.
It's
I
not
didn't even know they
his,
were here.
but that animal is in Florida, but it's not going to be bred.
Wow.
It's probably not going to be bred.
Every now and then I'll see one and my heart's like, oh,
John, do you
but
remember that one that Brian Barczyk had? The white one? Was that actually something different, or was that albino?
I think
Do you
it
know?
wasn't a water monitor though. It was Are you talking about the white Nile he had?
No, he had that was Chicken Strip was the white Nile, but he had
Oh,
a
okay.
he had an all white water monitor that didn't have
Yeah.
red eyes.
yeah, I think it
It was
passed. Didn't that
probably
also pass?
it was
Yeah, I think
probably
so.
a Lucy, but it's gone, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
So Lucy is different than Platinum, right? What you have?
Yeah, what I have is not the same. It's what I have. I don't know what it is. It's like a white skinned albino, but it's not a T positive like in the traditional sense of a T positive because it's not a caramel colored animal. It's not
Right.
a brownish yellowish animal as a baby. It's a purple and white animal as a baby, but it still
Gotcha.
has a dark eye. The pupil is dark, but the color around it is light,
Mhm.
and it has a
Oh,
pink tongue. So
Can you see patterning on its back, or is it just solid?
you can see pattern on the back, but it's very faint now. But as a baby, you could see it.
yeah, because when they're babies, the pink purple is a lot more vibrant than anything else. The base color of the animal.
Hmm.
So I always wondered about that, like because remember back in the day, the Lucy Bull pythons, that was incredible,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
then now they're common.
When I put the albino Sumbawa and the albino platinum together next to each other, they look exactly the same. They
Really?
started out
Really?
as different looking babies, but they turned out to be very, very similar looking adults.
Wow.
The skin is white, the eye is light, the pupil is black, the tongue is pink, and you could still see a trace of like a background pattern. But as babies, one was purple and white, and the other one was the albino Sumbawa was incredible looking. It was like 4 or 5 different colors. It was
I
yellow,
remember you
orange,
showed me.
white. It was nuts. But
Yeah.
they both turned white as they got bigger.
That's crazy.
Wow.
The
The only
Okay,
project
problem
that
with
I
these
just
white
saw is like,
lizards, the only problem with these white animals is it's like
they're dirty.
almost impossible to keep them clean.
yeah, yeah.
You know, it's
They
it's
are.
very hard because they go into dirty water, and they come out and they stain themselves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they're
it's
always
like the
tea
tea.
stained.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
get tea stained from the
They get tea
substrates and
stained.
stuff.
So right
Yep.
now the female looking one is shedding, and I'm like, oh, there you are. Yeah, there's that white skin. I remember.
There's your color.
Yeah,
There
I
you
just put
are.
a coming eye on my story. It's the same thing. It's a white out, but you can never see the white because it's always
Can't
dirty.
see it. Always
No.
dirty. But
Yeah.
you got to keep them. You got to keep them with dirt because that's what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Keep
That's
your
what
water
they like.
clean, but they want the dirt and the substrate to dig in. You need
Yeah.
that.
We have a question here from Amy.
Okay.
question
for Nick. Do you still have some peach throw babies left?
I have one holdback that I've been on the fence of letting go, but then I have 6 eggs in the incubator right now.
There you go, Amy. Message Nikki.
Yep.
Message him. Let him know what the deal is. But yeah,
Did
like
you guys see that melanistic mangrove that Kai posted the other day? That's
oh my
very nice.
God,
That thing's
that's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. It really looks like a black dragon. Just
Mhm.
the length.
It does.
The thickness and everything, like you
Yeah.
it's beefy. It's a beefy,
Yeah.
beefy animal.
I hope he gets that project going because I'm definitely a buyer.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool.
All
I
right,
tried to get it from Brian myself, but he was hoarding it and wouldn't let me have it.
guys.
I understand why. It's cool.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't blame him at all.
Did you guys want to add anything? It's already one. We can go further if you guys want. If you want to talk about something else.
It's up to you guys. It's up to you. I
John?
could ask John questions until next week. So.
I'm good. I can hang out.
You can hang out, meaning
Yeah,
you.
I'm holding this phone until my arm falls off. Then I gotta hang out.
I feel like just going like this. Like,
I don't know. Yeah, what's going on over there?
I'm trying not to fall off the edge of the world here.
Just picture your neighbors watching you right now. Just
They're
doing
probably
all
like,
these weird poses.
there goes John again. That
There's
guy's
John.
That's my neighbor back there. She just went in the house. She's puts us all to shame. She's 92, still goes to the gym.
That's funny.
dude. Those are goals right there. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Still doing well.
Okay, Scott. Scott said, John,
Oh, him
turn on
again.
the screen lock under the drop down.
Screen lock under the drop down. Okay, let's see.
He's got the answer. That is true.
Thank you, Scott. Because oh,
Does that
You're right
work?
side up.
look at him.
You're changing the world.
Scott, I think you are onto something here.
Is that better?
Yeah. You're right side up now.
All right.
You're not at the edge of the world anymore.
I'm not at the edge of the world anymore.
No, you're not. Scott. Scott's response.
Old man. Yeah, what are you gonna do, man? You know, shit.
John, are you driving the Monitor Fest or are you flying?
Flying.
Yeah.
Flying.
Okay.
For a barbecue? To
Yeah.
go 14 hours each way for a barbecue?
I got to do it,
I'm
unfortunately.
flying in.
It's going to
Yeah,
suck.
because you're bringing animals to him, so you have.
Yeah.
How long of a ride is that?
Oh, man.
14 hours. 13, 14
Yeah.
hours.
I'm
I
flying in.
I
So
have
while
to
you
help my sister move, so I have to help her move and then literally leave right from there and go to Monitor Fest. So it's gonna be rough.
That's you.
Yeah, we're flying in. Me, Guy, Mike Rummel's gonna meet us at the airport in Chicago, and then we're gonna Uber to Brian's house. We're gonna get in a little bit early, so if Brian wants me to help set up anything, I could do that. And I'm gonna bring some New York bagels
Nice.
for Stefani and for Brian. Oh,
Gotta
yeah.
bring some pizza.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, okay.
the bagels travel nice because I could just throw them in a bag and tie them up, and they're good the next day too.
You
Yeah,
gotta show Uncle Mike what real pizza is.
that's true. That is so true.
I gotta
No,
I gotta send him an overnight with like some ice packs and send him some pizza.
Yeah. Or he's got to come out here. That's the other thing. I keep trying to convince him. Got to
Oh,
drag
that'd
him
be so
out.
much fun.
I told him about that too. It was like, when I'm in Florida, are you coming? And then he's like, it's hot. And I'm like, I'll have AC. Like, dude, come on.
We don't have to
Supposed
sit
to be
outside.
hot. I could see Michael at the beach in Daytona with his Bermuda shorts and no
Yep.
shirt. Got the bandana, the cigarette.
The cigarette.
He'll fit in Florida perfectly.
That's usually how he answers my FaceTimes.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Baking outside.
Taking in the sun, enjoying life.
That's why
Yep.
this whole costume didn't work. Is because I'm like radiant white, and he's tan.
Man, that's like the one podcast that we had. It was me, him, and Waterloo, and I'm like, I look like a vampire compared to you. Holy crap! Like,
Yeah.
Waterloo sits there and he's got that color and stuff, and then you see Mike, and I'm just like, I should have spray tan on. Like, I should have. Like, I don't even think I belong on this chat right now.
And
Like,
you're a Latin girl. You probably lay in the sun for 2 minutes and you tan.
yeah, I bronze up real fast.
Real nice.
Like,
I know.
they're
My
yeah,
wife
I don't
does
even
that
get
too.
red. I don't even get red. I just start Bronze.
I'm
can
normally
stand
red. I
outside for a
get
minute.
redder.
Yeah.
You get redder.
You go to Lobster Zone.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Big old Irish.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yep.
All right, boys. Anything to end this podcast you want to share with the group? Or
Listen, I'm available. You could just let me know when you want to do another one. We'll talk about more stuff.
Yeah.
Good. And I will talk to Mike about, an episode for Niles. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Roundtable about Niles.
I got a closer question for you, John.
Okay.
If you could go back and tell your younger self any breeding advice, anything you'd change, what would it be?
Oh my God! I would probably tell myself to make the nesting area for the females bigger than I
Yep.
did in the past.
Yep.
They
I thought the exact same thing.
yeah, they need a much larger nest than I'm giving them, that I was giving them.
Yep.
So especially these water monitors,
Mhm.
they really go deep and they go big. So
Yeah.
it's got to be big and compressed and nice and tight and temperature controlled, and that's what I
Yeah.
would do.
And
Yeah.
what size difference are we talking about here? What was the size difference you were using before?
I was
As
using
opposed-
like a 2x3 box, but they go 2 feet down and their hips are still sticking out of the dirt.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
enough,
Yeah.
So
That's
they
what I
really
did.
need something really big.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was doing the same thing. I was doing like a 4-foot slide out. Like I pulled the whole lay box out, and it's not big
Yeah.
enough. So I'm doing whole cage nesting now, which is a
Mhm.
freaking lot of work. I mean, the croc monitor enclosure was 70 bags of soil.
Oh my
So
God!
I had to carry 70 bags in, fill it all out, rake it out, and then now when she lays, I don't know where the hell it's going to be. But at least I have cameras, so I can kind of get an idea. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd rather take that chance and work a little harder than losing females. So,
I got something for you, Nick.
Yeah.
If you go on Amazon, they sell these cameras on a probe with a light on the end, and it
Mhm.
pops into your phone, and you download the app, and then you can view wherever you push this camera into, and it's on a cord.
Mhm.
So you could do that and stick it in the hole. It
That's
goes.
cool.
You could get them up to 16 feet in length.
Are they wired or are they wireless?
It's wired,
Okay.
and it's a
That's
stiff
cool.
wire, so like it will follow the curve of like the tunnel she makes. I
Oh,
just
that's
did it
great.
recently. I wanted to see where the flabby was nesting or if she was nesting. So and she's in a double chamber nest box.
Mhm.
I did this way that it's like a box with another box in it with the dirt. This way, if
Yeah.
she kicks dirt out, it doesn't get dirt all over the cage. It keeps my dirt in one place.
Yeah.
So I
That's
put it in there
exactly
and
what I do.
I put the probe in it. It made a right turn, and then there she was. I could see her
Nice.
in the camera. So I was like,
That's so
okay, I
cool.
know where to dig now.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
and they're only like $20 on Amazon.
I'm gonna look into it. Definitely gonna
That's a
look
fun
into
little thing.
You gotta send them that link.
it. Yep.
Yeah,
Send it to me.
you're gonna
I'll have
need
them
that,
ordered today.
especially with a deep nesting croc monitor.
Yep. Yeah. The soil in the back is 4 feet and it goes all the way to 6 inches, like a hill.
Oh my God! Yeah, they're gonna love that. That's exactly what they need.
Yep. Yep. All right, boys. Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. So, ladies
good
and
for now.
gentlemen,
Yeah.
Never satisfied. Always got to do more.
it always is. But you know what? That's the good part about it. You have the ability to do more.
Yeah.
So
Do more.
that's always nice.
Thanks for coming on, John, and thanks everybody
you,
for letting
guys.
me fill in for Uncle Mike.
Oh,
I know,
thank
I
you.
know it's not the same, but here.
I was really. I was surprised because I thought Mike was right there, front and center for a while. I
Yeah.
was tricked.
Yeah.
Until
And I
you
just
took off that
ripped it
goatee, and
off.
then I was like,
You're like,
oh
what
man,
the
it's
hell?
not Mike.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Please click like and subscribe to All Monitor Talk. And if not, just join the Trap Talk Reptile Network because we're the coolest network in the world. There's everything for everybody, all different types of podcasts for all your reptile needs.
Mhm.
Everyone, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Bye,
And
guys. We'll do it
thanks,
again.
everybody. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Bye.
End stream. End. Come on. Good end. I know you're working on it.